I don't know if you guys are watching this. You see the title of the show. This was not... The show kind of took a different turn this morning as we were doing the notes. We did all our notes. MG Geek, our producer, Matt in our chat room, he put together the notes, and it was generally the show was going to be about the next generation of pro wrestlers coming up in AEW and WWE and how the business is going to change and adapt and modify, over the next 10 years or so.
Yeah.
But there is a much larger story here. Another addition to the Vince McMahon hush money scandal.
Big yikes.
Big yikes. So the Wall Street Journal dropped this story this morning. There were some rumblings in previous weeks that there was a follow-up story coming, which to be assumed, right? You got a big story like this, you're going to do a follow-up. And the follow-up dropped today. And in the follow-up, it claims, or it says, Vince McMahon paid over $12 million to 4 women over the last 16 years. One of them being a very large payout of over $7 million, $7.4 million, $7.5 million, to a former female wrestler that alleged that he coerced her into oral sex.
Yikes.
Yikes. When more advances were kind of resisted, this individual is claiming that allegedly their push got taken away and they were released soon after that. So, listen, and I don't want to do the I'm not going to play the game of guessing who it is. Right? Because you don't want to name the accuser, you don't want to name who it is, but here's the interesting part of this, right? And a piece of the story that is developing now. This person came to them in 2018. The attorney came to them. Here is the Wall Street Journal statement in the article. The previously unreported settlement included a $7.5 million pact with a former wrestler who alleged that Mr. McMahon coerced her into giving him oral sex, then demoted her and ultimately declined to renew her contract in 2005 after she resisted further sexual encounters, according to people familiar with the matter. The wrestler and her attorney approached Mr. McMahon in 2018 to negotiate a payment in return for her silence, the people said.
Wow.
So the hush money did not come at the time of, there was the NDA or hush money, whatever it was, did not come at the time of the affair or the incident or whatever you want to call it. It came in 2018. So this is a recent development. This is not something from 18 years ago. In another previously unreported deal, a WWE contractor, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't know what WWE contractor would mean. A WWE contractor presented the company with unsolicited nude photos of Mr. McMahon.
Good Lord.
She reported receiving from him and alleged he had sexually harassed her on the job. According to people familiar with the women's 2008 NDA, Mr. McMahon agreed to pay roughly $1 million to her, these people said. This is bizarre.
Huge yikes.
So contractor could mean talent. I don't know, because they were very specific in the article to name the 2005 incident as a performer, as a wrestler. This was not labeled as a wrestler. It was labeled as a contractor, which I would assume is talent. So I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how the verbiage would work or the crossover. I would assume that this is a talent and not a performer, or not a wrestler.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know. This is not great. Also, there is a John Laurinaitis piece to the puzzle here.
Oof.
In 2012, John Laurinaitis stepped down. If you remember that, from the head of talent relations. Came a little abrupt. It was pretty much said that, he just wasn't good at his job, and that's why. And the jokes about John Laurinaitis hiring the wrong one-legged wrestler continued on, right? Here's the other part of this. Mr. Laurinaitis, a former wrestler known as Johnny Ace, had been head of talent relations for over 8 years. When he was forced to step down in 2012, he was head of talent relations that long?
Yeah.
God. He was forced to step down in 2012 to take a smaller role at the company. His demotion came around the same time as a $1.5 million deal with an employee who alleged she had an affair with Mr. Laurinaitis and that he demoted her after she broke it off.
Good Lord.
People familiar with the non-disclosure agreement said.
There's going to be more coming out.
This is... like, I'm not surprised by this. I don't think this is shocking. I think we've heard stories. People have heard things, right? Rumors, but there's never been anything like this.
Right.
That you have a third-party investigation being done by multiple law firms that the board of directors has started, and they are looking to find out if there was misdeed done. Now, if these allegations are true, yeah, absolutely, corporate misdeed was done. Is it illegal? No, there was no criminal aspect to it. But as far as, sexual assault or anything, right? Because these were consensual at times, I would assume, allegedly. But this isn't good. This is not good.
This is not good.
It's not good for the company. This isn't good for Vince. This is a guy that really prides himself on his legacy and his reputation. And, for wrestling fans have known a lot of the shenanigans that goes on and how nutty he could be and whatever, however you want to tell the stories. But this is the first time that we've seen major publications like the Wall Street Journal deep dive into an investigation into Vince McMahon.
Do you think it's time for Vince to just go away?
I don't think he will.
Well, that's not what I asked. Do you think he should, for all intents and purposes, just kind of disappear?
Yeah, if these are all true.
Yeah.
If these are all true and these allegations happened and he did fire someone for not, continuing a relationship, yeah, of course he should be gone.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. I mean, listen, there's a difference between, and here's the difference between a month ago when we spoke about this, or whatever, 3 weeks ago, with the initial story, right? That initial buyout. That was a relationship, right? That he signed an NDA and the NDA wasn't for any kind of hold on, I'm getting some more information here. Yeah, okay. I'm getting some pieces here, so I'll piece it together at the end. But that first one came off more like he was in a relationship with this person. He took her out of the legal department and moved her to talent relations, right? And he didn't want her talking about it, so she signed an NDA, and then she left. Right. It wasn't presented in a way that, she was coerced into the relationship. She got demoted for no longer engaging with him. Right. It wasn't presented in that way, which at that time I said, these are very standard practices for a lot of high-power corporate executives to sign NDAs when they enter relationships with their staff. With staff. Yeah. But you also have to disclose this to the board of directors, and you have to disclose the relationship. I don't know if any of I don't know what their disclosure policy is in WWE. I haven't read that.
Yeah. That first story, which we were told will lead into this stuff. Like this is taking a more awful turn. Especially when the word coercion is used.
The word coercion was used, and it was used specifically. It was used for a reason.
Right.
This is all developing, and this kind of speaks. A lot of the moves that WWE makes, they've known about this for a long time. They knew that this would come out. So, they're in damage control mode, I'm sure, trying to figure out what to do next. But these are not good allegations whatsoever.
No, not at all.
Especially the talent one, not good. John Laurinaitis is not good. And they're saying there's four different women were paid out.
Yeah.
So we don't know anything prior to them going public, right? Right. That's gone. That won't be investigated because it's a non-event for the board of directors. That's previous to them. So this is all developing. This is not good news for Vince.
Definitely not good.
Not good news for WWE.
Yeah.
When stories like this come out, obviously the truth follows and more people come out and more people speak about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to name names. There's a lot of names being floated around. Listen, until the person speaks out, it's their business, not mine, not anybody else's. And hopefully people will, keep that privacy intact for the individuals. But this is, what do you make of it?
It's super unfortunate, but at the same time, WWE as a company is a bizarre business.
Very.
Right? Not besides what they do, but the backstage stuff, and ever since like I guess like we were teenagers, you'd always hear these like rumors, and then you had the steroid stuff, and then you had the overdose stuff, and now you have like the sexual harassment stuff. It sucks.
Yeah,
right?
Very much so. It's terrible.
Sucks. It makes you kind of grossed out by everything, right?
Yeah.
The other side of that is there are gonna be fans who also don't care, that they're gonna still give WWE all their money, which is nuts.
Yeah. Sophia has a great statement in the chat room. How consensual could it be if a woman knows if she doesn't engage in the relationship or act, she will be fired or at least downgraded? See, that's absolutely true. If that's the case, then that's not consensual whatsoever.
Right.
That's survival.
That's effed up. That's effed up.
That's effed up.
Yeah.
I don't know that to be true, and I don't want to fill in the blanks here, especially on something that we don't know. We don't want to name names. We don't know who the individuals are. But, at what point, and this is me and my opinion, right? Like, you're Vince. I know you don't have a lot of time. And I know you don't go out and date. And I know that's not part of your process, right? But at what point do you say, like, maybe this isn't a good idea for me to continue a relationship in this way? Why would I even... Let's just pretend that Vince is in the right here. Okay, I'm not saying he is. Let's just pretend. Right. But at what point, if you're that powerful of a guy and that influential of a guy, maybe you're going to tell yourself, maybe this is not a good fucking idea.
You also have to have the mindset of a billionaire, which is different.
You also have that mindset of a billionaire, which I don't know what that's like.
Exactly, where Vince has all this money.
2 weeks, I knew what it was like.
Two weeks, yeah.
I got adopted by that rich guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and I had to wear that top hat. It was a whole thing.
You got adopted by the Pharaoh, right?
I did get adopted by the Pharaoh. But this is bad news for them. Totally. To try to put yourself into the mind of a billionaire is such a quandary, because these guys could do so much good with their money, and it just doesn't seem like they do. This is like, not wacky, but it's so sloppy and it's dirty. It's very dirty. You ask for a BJ and then you're like, hey, I want to bang you, and then you know what? You're not going to bang me? F you, your contract's terminated. Like
gross.
That's gross.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think there's more to this that's going to come out, and it's going to, everybody's going to kind of hang their head in shame.
I just hope people don't start digging to out the people that were involved in this, because we saw it happen with the first person, and that wasn't even a talent. That was someone working in the office. Now you have talent involved, and that to a lot of people that's fair game, and I don't agree with that. I think people need to not out these individuals unless they want to come out and talk about it. Then it's all their right to do it, and that adds another layer to this. But
yeah,
do you think Vince leaves the company?
I think he should at this point. I think he should take they should say, hey, he's taking an extended leave of absence. That's it. Retire quietly.
Yeah.
Hang out in your house in Connecticut. Do what you got to do and stay out of the limelight. Like, just don't. I think after this bombshell today, just don't be part of the company.
I don't think he could do that. I don't think he can. I don't think he's capable.
Fresh eyes, fresh coat of paint. Put somebody else in charge. Yeah,
I don't think he can.
But again, don't have the mindset of a billionaire, and also WWE will continue to make money hand over fist.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to affect WWE's business.
No.
If he goes away, but if he stays, then it may. Listen, if I'm an advertiser, I'm going to say, hey, listen, guys, I think it's a good idea to back away right now.
Right.
And that's where the big story comes in. It's it always ends up being about money. And if there's no repercussion financially to this company, if Vince stays, then he's going to stay. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But this is all developing. This is all new stuff, and I'm sure we're going to have more news over the weekend. And I'll do and on Observer Live, I'm sure I'll have a ton more news here. But this is I did not see this coming. This story.
No, not at all.
Thanks for checking out this clip. For more, be sure to like and subscribe. In addition to this channel, the Mattman Podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, and it's also available on F4WOnline.com as part of the Wrestling Observer Network.